Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello. And welcome to this weekly, week ahead kind of update or show. It's early Sunday morning. Got a little bit of forest ambience in the background. This is a continuation for me, if you follow these shows in order, of my forest immersion experience, forest immersion weekend. If you haven't heard anything about that, you can go back in the show a couple of episodes, and I have a short video that I recorded yesterday about what that's all about if you want to play along. It's part of our wizard training experience. But let's get us all comfy and cozy right now, because these are meant to be a little relaxing and ASMR-ish. ASMR-ish. As we talk about the week ahead. So yesterday I also posted a show that I'm going to talk about here in just a minute. But if you want to join me and pause this show and get yourself something to drink and just hang out with me for a few minutes, we're going to do some energy clearing. We're going to burn some incense. We're going to pull out a few little decks of cards, and we're going to read a chapter from Mabon and Murder, which is the newest Bringers of the Light book that I'm working on and that we will feature for our intuitive readings on these week ahead episodes. So first of all, I'm going to wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the guides who overlight this show. Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, my friends from the Bringers of the Light. My creative team is here as well. And I invite you to pull in your guides that you'd like to join you on this little week ahead experience. Because it's not just about me pulling cards and reading things and telling you what I see in the energies ahead, but for you to settle in and listen to what's being offered here and allow your team and your higher self to parse out what might be important for you. If you're new to the show, settle in. It may not always be a video on YouTube. I could sometimes be coming through with an audio, but if you're coming from the podcast, from a podcast provider, you always have an audio. So you get to use a little bit more of your master senses to kind of see with your third eye, your master eyes, your spiritual eyes, what we may be visually showing. And I try on these week aheads to maybe not do too much of a visual thing, and describe as best I can anything that I'm showing our audience that may be watching a video of this energy update. So first, let's just do a little bit of an energy clearing. I have a little baby Native American rattle. Somewhere I have a little card who made this and where it's from, but I don't have it right now. We're going to just clear the energy a little bit. I saw 3, 4, 5 on the counter, and we're going to settle in to tease out a little bit what might be coming in the week ahead. Now, this is timeless. So whenever you pick up this episode is when it's meant for you. If you're watching these in order, then this is for the week of July 24th, 2022. I have the dog right here with me. She's like, what are you doing? I want to feel into the collective that's listening to this and ask for the messages that are for the best and highest good of all involved. We just went into Leo season. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And I've got the box of all of our incenses that we like to burn on this show. And the one that was showing itself to me was not the front of it. They don't make these anymore either. It's called Higher Mind Incense. Uh-oh, you all right? It's okay. Dog allergies. Higher Mind Incense. So we're going to use this one. This one is Grandfather's Son, infused with Herkimer Diamond Gem Essence. It's got on the little label, it has a mountain with an eagle, and eagles have been coming up. I watched another reading. I like Weather Shaman ASMR. I like Katie's channel. She has a very relaxing, if you want another channel, it's very relaxing, very ASMR, very, very high vibe. Then her channel is really fun. She puts out a lot of nice content, a lot of nature-based stuff. She does a lot of Reiki healing on her channel as well. I don't know her personally. I'm sure she's a soul sister. She's probably in our soul family or soul group. Otherwise, I technically wouldn't be drawn to her. But in her reading for the week ahead for this week, the cards that came out had a lot of eagles on them. I think eagles came up 2 or 3 times. But this is for the energy, I think, of Leo season. This is coming out, and for the energy of the week ahead. So I want to just read this. Higher Mind Incense says, the strong masculine yang energies that our powerful grandfather's sun radiates are harnessed by this robust blend of sacred herbs to aid in balancing an excess of yin energy. Copal, Palo Santo, and frankincense give this blend a profound presence, sharpening awareness and stoking the fire within. This blend is infused with Herkimer Diamond Gem Incense, and I wish these people made this still. It's called Higher Mind Incense. It was out of Williams, Oregon, USA. I used to get these at one of my favorite stores in California, Mother's. And look, if they don't make them anymore, I guess we'll have to learn to make them ourselves. We'll have to come on the show and learn to make them ourselves. All right, let's get this little burner out. All right, I guess we'll just do it like this. And you can see I'm easing us into this, but all right, hold on. Let's get this little grandfather's son. You know, can you use your master? Oh, the dog doesn't like the smoke. I'm sorry, Kiki Coco. Sorry. My apologies. I'll put it way over here. She's gave me a dirty look like, don't smoke around me. I'm a hound dog and my sense of smell is like 10,000 times your sense of smell. And then you're burning a big old incense in my face. All right, just a little bit more for us. It's actually for the fan going, so it's, I don't know why it's going towards the dog, because the fan is blowing, should be blowing it away. All right, that's okay. If she doesn't like it, she can leave. I'm gonna set it down. So with our forest immersion experience that I started yesterday and I'm finishing up today, kind of doing a 2-day thing, I think. For me, it was about kind of just immersing myself in the current energies without a lot of distractions is what it ended up being, and just totally focusing on for me, my creative work and my creative projects is what that whole experience ended up being. And I think that's what we're being called to do during this Leo season, is whatever things you kind of had on the back burner, they're going to be coming up again for renewal and review. And and things that were lost, or maybe they're saying things that are lost are found again. So whatever that means to you, because many people could be watching this, I mean, different things to different people, but like things that are lost are found again. It gives me a big, the week ahead gives me a big, what is it, like 6 of Cups type of energy, like nostalgia or things coming back from the past to possibly surprise you. Could be projects, could be people, but that's a big part of the energies. Let's see, what do we want to do next? Okay, we want to do cards next. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull the cards for the week, and then we're going to read the channeled chapter. I channeled it in this morning right before I came up to the studio to do this show. And we're going to see how those two align with each other. Let's see what the week ahead looks for you. So Mabon and Murder, just before I go on, the show right before this, I posted a story. I posted a show called The Mabon and Murder Backstory and Introduction. And I kind of gave a whole, basically a little synopsis of the book that we're going to be working with, called Mabon and Murder. We started it. Here's where, and I'm bringing this up because this is the themes of what I'm just talking about, things coming back. I started that book a year ago around this same time because Mabon is the autumn equinox. We're coming up on the autumn equinox sooner than late, sooner than you think, here in the Northern Hemisphere. First, we've got to get to Lunasa, which is August the 1st, which is almost a week away. That's first harvest. And then second harvest is the autumn equinox. And so what have you accomplished this year? What have you, I feel like I need to go back to some of the things I intended at the beginning of the year and just take a look and be like, am I still on track for that? Because there's only so many months left of this year before it's time to go within again. So Mabon and Murder came back again, this book. I reread it and I'm like, oh, I love that. I really want to play with the Bringers of the Light again. I want to come back and start doing this Sunday stories because that's the only way sometimes I would finish certain books. I see 1212 on the counter. So the divine feminine number, but that's the only way. Not the only way, but what motivates me is to channel in these chapters, deliver them, and bring them to you as something fun that we all can enjoy. And then I put them into a book format. So that's coming back again. And then I also just read in that show a couple of chapters out of the book to bring us back up to speed. So I don't really want to do that too much here. If you missed that, you can go back. It's really a fun, I think it's a good show to listen to if you want to get motivated to pick up some past project or something from your past that you really still feel like you might want to work on. Because I feel like in that show, I have a lot of motivational energy that comes out that is going to prompt you and get you excited about some of the things that you may have thought were kind of like dead, or kind of just were set aside, and now may be a time to resurrect them. I'm making air quotes if you're listening, resurrect them. Oh my gosh, I can already see where this conversation is going in light of what I just channeled. So hold on. So just Mabon and Murder, just quickly. Abigail and Dakar are bringers of the light. You all listening to this are all bringers of the light, but they are going to an autumn festival where every year, this is the second time that Abigail and Dakar have been to the autumn festival. The very first book in this series, Pumpkin Pie Latte, we kind of started out there. So we've had a year of the bringers of the light. And she's submitting something for judging. It's a pickle mickle tart. We don't really know what's inside of it. It was magically created between her and her familiar, her raven familiar. Abigail's soul flame, Dakar, her divine counterpart. They're at the autumn festival. They're delivering this pickle mickle tart to the judge's tent to be judged. So there's some stuff going on there. And we're going to read that momentarily here, but I want to pick up the cards. So I've got 3 decks that came out. So I'm going to do the cards the reading from the chapter, and then we're going to do a little bit of energy clearing to help you move forward as well, because it seems like it's a week of moving forward. So back, here we are. We have not used Bubble in a while because I'm telling you, it gets right around August 1st, and I'm ready to already, I think in the last show I talked about too, like I'm ready to be in the autumnal mood already, whether summer is technically still here or not. I feel like I'm moving into like an Indian summer type of mode in the month of August. And so I'm already ready to like pull out the autumn decorations. I'm going to redo some of my altars and kind of get them in that feel, because this is my favorite time of year. So the earlier I can start it, the better. But it's right about now, within the next week or so, that I start to feel in the air outside and the light, the way it looks, that autumnal energy. So here's Bubble, one of our most loved decks here on the show. This is my deck. Let's see what it has to say about the week ahead and all this returning. I'm telling you, you can't make this up. You guys are good. The first card out is Get Creative. So that's just what we've been talking about. It's a giant, it's just a weird, like magical pumpkin. If you can't see the cards because you're listening, it's like two hands with a magical pumpkin that's just kind of goofy looking, but it's just kind of like, who cares what your creations look like or sound like or feel like to anybody else? You do what feels right to you. And I kind of feel that a little bit sometimes with some of my artwork that I create, that, you know, that's just a lifelong practice to being an artist. And I feel like I'm getting back into it. And I've been dreaming at night about doing art. And I feel like I'm getting like lessons in my dreams so that I can improve what I create here in the 3D realm. But right now I don't, you know, it doesn't matter if it doesn't look like some sort of amazing rendering to anybody else. I still create them and I still use them in my card decks, and I still show them to you guys just because they make me happy, and you know, whatever, that's my own style. So I think that should speak to you. Like, don't be afraid to put your stuff out there, even because it could be like a healing for somebody else. It could make somebody else smile. It could make somebody else laugh. Who cares if it's this goofy pumpkin face? Like, if it makes somebody laugh, like, who cares? Like, we are here as a bringer of the light. So we're back in bringers of the light mode. We are here. We're here to serve. And it doesn't always have to be serious service, right? Like crying over Gaia and what's going on and tears over the planet. It doesn't always have to be that kind of service work. You can do your charity and your service work to make people smile and to make people laugh and to make people just stomp their feet in joy and just have fun. So that's the first card out of the deck. Now I'm going to move over to the Tarot at the End of the Rainbow deck, one of my favorite tarot decks, and we're going to see what's coming out for the week ahead. We don't want this video to be hours long. Oh my God, why did I get so many dang cards? I got 4 cards. This is like a whole vignette right here. I have the 9 of Cups. Well, that's wish fulfillment for sure. So this has to do with wish fulfillment. I mean, look at, you can't, if you're listening, you can't really see, but there's like who is this guy? Like a little ogre guy or something. And he's like hanging out with these 9 cups, and he's got a heck of a lot of gold coins all spread out underneath the cups. Oh, he's like coveting his treasures, like, my wishes are fulfilled. And it looks like there's these steps leading up to the outside. So he's like in a cave, but the light at the end of those steps, at the end of that tunnel, is so bright. If you are looking at this as a video, I mean, it is intense, bright rainbow light coming through. So this, oh my God, I got so many chills. So this is about wish fulfillment. So what do we have to say about wish fulfillment? So it sounds like we kind of are like, okay, get creative is one. And then there's this second little storyline coming in about wish fulfillment. So the other cards that came out with that one are the 6 of Swords, which we know is all about moving away from something, going somewhere to a better place. Typically, it's going to a better place. And in this card, the swords are ginormous, like gates. And we've got one fairy on a boat kind of rowing through these gates. they're saying stargates. There's alignments. Yeah, there's just like a lot of things coming in to support you moving forward. There's astrological alignments. This whole Uranus and Taurus conjunct the North Node that's happening right now is pretty important over the next 3 weeks or so. There's this new galactic year. If you follow like the Mayan calendar, that's starting on the 26th of, which is next Tuesday, I believe. There's a very powerful new moon coming in a couple of days. That also happens during this week. So there's a lot of things coming in to support you moving on to wish fulfillment. And the next card out is the Nine of Swords, which is all about being worried and anxious and fearful. And I would say anxiety usually comes in when we're fearful about the future. Typically, if you're thinking about the past, you're not getting anxious unless there's some sort of PTSD involved. But usually we've got these sleepless, anxious nights when we're like worried about the future and what's going to happen. And typically in this particular card, there's like a 9 swords. It's like a fairy girl on the ground, kind of with her hands covering her eyes. And there's like this huge, horrible looking monster thing behind her with like red eyes and horribly sharp teeth. But the 9 swords are kind of keeping the monster away. Like he's behind all the swords. And really this is kind of like these 9 of swords, swordsies are like worry about nothing. Like whatever's there really can't hurt you. But it typically is anxiety about the future or worried about what's to come. And the guides are saying, as the last card out is the 4 of Wands, which is a celebration card. It's stability, it's partnership, it's new beginnings and dancing around with in this case, what is that? We have like a goat guy. Is that like a minotaur or something? Like goat leg guy and fairy girl kind of hanging out together under the 4 wands, having a celebration. There's a rainbow behind them. There's all these flowers. I think this also reminds me of like a hand. Their hands are, but they're like celebrating. Oh, they're saying hand fasting, but some sort of celebratory event. So this is what all of this week is leading up to. The start of this week is the beginning of a vignette, a storyline about wishes being fulfilled. All right, that's a lot of cards. And then let's get one more, the last card, and then we're going to read our chapter. This is my handmade deck, the Labyrinth of Dragonshire. Just the week ahead, anything else you want to say about what's coming up here? We've got one card falling out, and one more off the bottom wants to come out. So the one that's falling out is a Y. This is a hand-drawn deck, so it's the letter Y on the front. It looks almost like a sun salutation type pose in a sense. There's a lot of dots on it, and the Y is orange and brown and red and green. So there's some fire off to the side, and it's allow the serpent to rise. So typically this was like a Kundalini rising type card. And what wanted to come out with it was on the front, the letter T. It looks like a lot of energy zazzing around, like some little lightning bolts and stuff. And it was like everything is upgrading within and around you. Get ready. And it's card number 9. Typically when I get this card, things do, because of all the work you've done on yourself internally in the etheric realm and the energy world, this T, this everything is upgrading card, when I get this, typically then what happens is all that stuff starts to manifest in my physical reality. And I do see upgrades, things like, new cars and upgrades around your home, and it's material manifestations. And maybe it is like upgraded relationships, people that are more in line with you. And I also noticed that there's 2 cards, and one card is a T and one card is a Y. So I see that as like, thank you. So remember to keep in mind all the gratitude for yourself. Number 1, for all the work you've done. And number 2, I've got to reach over here and get this. Number 2, as I crawl towards it, for your guides and all their support. Okay. And for everyone, every being, energy being and physical being that have come in to support you on your journey. everything that you have around you, even if it's not where you want to be. There's got to be one, even if it's like the worst moment happening, there's got to be like one thing that you can find gratitude for. All right, so let's just read this channel chapter to see how this corresponds with the cards. Hold on, let's just dial that down slightly. Because I know the microphone's right here. Get a sip of tea. We've got a fun guest spirit coming in to support us here momentarily. So this is Mabon and Murder. This is chapter 6. So when you are listening to these readings, since they're channeled in with multiple intentions involved. One of them is healing. One of them is upliftment because they're bringers of the light book series, this particular series. They're meant to inspire and uplift, get you motivated about service, work, whatever that might be, and to entertain, to have fun, and to provide us with a little glimpse into, in this case, metaphors and things that might be meaningful for the week ahead. I'm just really being drawn to something that's over here on this pillow sham. I just don't know what it is. Okay, I don't know. Never mind. Chapter 6, The Mickle in the Pickle. So Abigail, her thing that she is submitting this year for judging at the Autumn Festival is a cherry and apple pickle tart. It was formed by magic, a confection pastry and magical moon pie all in one. Some sort of treat, this pickle mickle. And it's ready now. The magical creation is done. And so the judge's bell was ringing and it was time to deliver the tart to the sampling tent. Dakar helped Abigail put all the sampling plates on a tray and carefully carry them to the front of the Autumn Festival grounds. A crowd had gathered, anxiously awaiting the moment when they too could taste all that was being offered at this year's event. The tent was quiet inside as the judges waited patiently too. The last entries were delivered by their makers and the sampling began. Dakar, easily bored by the chewing and slurping of this potion and that pie tart, went outside to breathe and think. He felt something different around him again. He looked about for Heather and the gnomes, but they were busy elsewhere. It was a new energy he was feeling again. He wished this new energy would make itself known, for clearly it had been watching him now for quite some time. It felt benevolent, but he always checked it out first nonetheless. Oh my gosh, there's so many metaphors here. All right, hold on, let me keep going. Then out of the blue, a scream rang out from the onlookers. Dakar rushed over to where there was a group huddled about something. He gently pushed his way inside the huddled mass, and there, in a heap of blood and feathers, lay a huge egret, barely breathing but still alive. Where could this bird have come from, and what was wrong with it? Dakar went into Bringers of the Light mode and summoned up his inner... I can't talk. I don't want to say that I can't talk. I can talk. Summoned up his inner guidance system. So that's... Okay, let me just stop. Dakar summoned up his inner guidance system. Okay, keep going, and I'll come back to this. His inner knowing told him that this was no bird at the core, but rather a very clever shifter sent to bring him out of hiding. Dakar calmed his breathing. He had allowed himself to be compromised by his sudden rushing in actions, and now the wearer of this egret spirit garb knew he was a bringer of the light. Well, here goes nothing, Dakar thought. Deciding to give the wayward soul what they were seeking, he bent down very close to the almost lifeless bird body and whispered, "One if by land, two if by sea, three brings it all back to me." The egret shuddered and muttered something, and then slowly Dakar saw the true form behind the feathers. "Give her some air," he shouted at the crowd and willed them to disperse, and being easily guided, they did as they were told. The egret, now woman, sat up and looked slyly at Dakar. Her plan had worked, and she had her man, so to speak, for he would never have allowed her to freely enter his space again. Oh, I got chills. Maggie Chalmers. Sorry, if you guys don't follow Bringers of Light, you won't know. But Maggie has been a pivotal kind of quote unquote bad guy. With Argyle in last December, Maggie Chalmers stood up with the help of Dakar's strong arms. She looked bold and beautiful, but Dakar knew her magic all too well. "Hello, Maggie," he said, feeling her power, yet also feeling her pain. "It's been a while." "Yes, my dear, it has," Maggie said, dusting off her powder blue velvet jumpsuit. "I need a favor from you." Oh my gosh. All right, you guys help me stay on track and pick out what's most pertinent to people here, because I saw so much in just this one chapter. Which one, where do you want me to focus? So I will say there's a lot of masculine energy in this particular chapter, because Abigail really is nowhere to be. There's no interaction with Abigail at all, except Dakar helping her to do something. So I feel like the masculine is helping the feminine in this case in more ways than one. Dakar helping Abigail get all of her wares and stuff to the judging tent, and helping her with her creations. And then again, when Maggie Chalmers comes back, and he is helping her out. So maybe there's two different divine feminine forces to be worked with this week. If you're a divine masculine listening, maybe you're up against, kind of a spirit. They're saying a spirit form who's your better half that you're working with. But you've also got some energy coming in that is a little bit of a trickster, I think. Feels benevolent, is projecting itself as being benevolent, but underneath the covers and the feathers in this case, and the bird body is a little bit not really sure what's going on with this energy, a little tricksterish. Because Maggie Chalmers has always been, if you want to play and listen to the Argyle Inn and get to know Maggie, and the Handbook de los Santos is coming back again. This mysterious handbook that we really don't know what it does. It just kind of helps get things done. Maybe that's why she's here. She wants it back. Because whoever holds this Handbook de los Santos has great magical powers. But this benevolent / we're not really sure divine feminine energy is coming into the picture again to kind of feel like they're picking, almost like this nostalgia energy we talked about in the beginning of the show, where I said things are coming back to be re-looked at again. It doesn't always have to be projects, could be relationships. And I don't know yet. I don't have a sense yet, like, is Dakar going to help her or not? Because she's not been very nice in the past. Maggie can be a force to be reckoned with. All right, what else do we want me to focus on? So use they keep going back to this. Dakar, in this case, goes into his Bringers of the Light mode and summons up his inner guidance system. Using his inner knowing, he knew there was no bird at the core, but a clever shifter sent to bring him out of hiding. So use your master skills here in this case with whatever these relationships are. Feel the energy and not what's showing up in front of you, not what's being said, not what's being done, but feel the energy behind it. Does that energy feel good to you inside, or how does it make you feel? Because that's the thing in this case that you're being asked to base your decision making off of, in terms of, do I interact with this over here? Do I continue to interact with that over there? And even though that over there is presenting itself as a beautiful feathered egret in a blue sexy velvet jumpsuit, behind the scenes, behind it at the core, the intentions could be a little bit not for your best and highest good. So a little trick. We're going back to the trickster and the deceptive energy coming out again. And then there could be this other energy that you've been working with off to the side. Maybe it's energy. It's divine feminine energy, and it feels really, really good to you. And that's all you have to go by right now. It just feels really, really good to you. You don't know why. Keep moving towards the light, people. Just keep moving towards the light. Anything else we want to come out there? And then there's this whole, I do want to go back. The only other thing they want me to go back to is this judging, the whole thing with the judge's tent and the judge's bell. And I think it's all going back to this get creative card. So the thing with Maggie, Chalmers, and Dakar, I think goes back to these cards about this vignette, about this wishes being granted that we talked about with the 6 of Swords and the 9 of Swords and the 4. And the whole thing with the judge's tent and this pickle mickle tart being judged, there's a lot of words about judging. And I think this all goes back to the get creative card. Like, who cares? Don't worry about what other people think. About anything that you want to work on being judged. Just do it for the simple, fun satisfaction of doing it for yourself first. And don't really worry about how it's going to be received by others. And I kind of felt that too with bringing this storyline back and doing the Sunday stories like this, because I'm like, maybe people on this channel don't really care about hearing these stories. And, maybe it's just me who really enjoys them all too much and really gets a big kick out of them and really gets delighted by how they magically come together. And I was like, heck no, this is what is fun for me. And for the people that enjoy that, if it's not you people that are listening, then, you'll fall away, and people that really want to engage with this and love it and all of that will find their way here. So have faith and trust that what's meant to find you will find you in perfect and right timing, even if your 3D reality doesn't clearly reflect that right now. I'm going to bring in the singing bowl. We're going to do a little bit of energy clearing, some quantum energy healing. I'm just going to allow what comes through to come through. So let's see, this is for the week ahead. We just want to get you all like in a good receptive mode, because it sounds like you've got maybe some creative work. So let's take a deep breath together. Breathing in light and love and peace. And exhaling anything that no longer serves you. See it as a dark gray cloud. I've got an etheric violet flame set up at the core of our group, at the center of our circle, and you can breathe all of that anxiety, any kind of fear energy that was coming out as a result of this 9 of Swords card. Anything that doesn't feel high vibe, just take a deep breath in. And then blow out a huge smoky gray cloud into the violet flame. Disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. Let's cut the cords to all this negative energy. I don't know what I'm hearing. Why am I hearing this right now? It's like early on a Sunday morning. What am I hearing? Why does it sound like it's in my front yard? I'm not sure what's going on here. It sounds like yard work, but I'm like, really, it's too early. Just take a deep breath. Let's just take another deep breath in. And hold that. And then release. Clouds. You are safe. You are loved. All is well. You are safe. You are loved. All is well. You are safe. You are loved. All is well. Mene erkede arden ist if urkund karkede. Brindikar urundkere tirit kita. Shirdir arden de harkite. Breketanke aka ahaki. Rend ihai shak en maskra. It sounds like someone's cutting my grass. Let me just see. I don't know why this is important for me to see this right now. I don't know where that's coming from. Anyway. and why it's taking precedence in the middle of your reading. It's like yard work. All right, let's bring in, I'm bringing in, for those of you that are listening, our special guest is the Lord Ganesh today to help you overcome obstacles and get moving on any of these special projects. Because here's the thing, and what I have in front of me is, I don't remember that. Oh, somebody had to get it. I'm having trouble today with my hands. Stuff is flying all over the place. This is a little, I don't know the stone. I can't remember. He's some sort of, is he petrified wood? I have to go back and see what it is. But it's an elephant. He's very cute. Petrified wood, kind of jasperish looking elephant. I don't know, but this is Lord Ganesh. So here's the thing, as we're kind of giving you some Lord Ganesh, Reiki, quantum energy healing, this is going to go wherever it's most needed for your highest and best good, clearing your etheric body, clearing your mental body, clearing your emotional body, clearing your physical body. I'm actually going to send in a raven right now, wants to come in and do some chakra clearing. As I'm just going to talk for a second, continue to project this energy of Reiki healing. Just close your eyes. But here's the thing, the get creative, the working on your projects and working on you is what is actually going to help you manifest your 9 of Cups, your dreams coming true. All of that dreams coming true storyline, there's nothing you have to do other than do what you're intuitively guided to do to make your dreams a reality. That's going to be different for each one of you. But some of that, there is action that has to be taken. But it sounds like it's on your side, like creative action, creative stuff. Work on yourself. Work on whatever things are coming back around to be worked on. And if it is releasing a relationship, well then decide to do that once and for all. Whether that's physically or etherically, cutting cords. And let the guides come in to help you. In this case, Lord Ganesh, remover of obstacles. Look at the trunk on this guy. Wow, it's a really big elephant trunk. That may be a little bit of Kundalini fire kind of coming in there. And I thought that is just so neat because everything can be a metaphor. Take a deep breath in. Let's fill you back up with some good positive energy. We've done some clearing now. In the hours and days following this episode, you're going to feel a renewed sense of positivity and passion towards things that you love. And you're going to feel this new power, this new raw kind of talent emerging. Just run with it with whatever you feel. Let the wishes fulfilled, let your guides take care of the whole wishes fulfilled timeline for you. And if they guide you to do something, then follow that through without hesitation or delay. Just follow through on that. Because it's leading you to upgrades in your life. It's leading you to more passion and more fun. Let's see what Lord Ganesh light language sounds like. Okay, hold on. I've never brought him in light language before. Let's do some Lord Ganesh light language. Oye, onye, nya ego gesha, oriar niri ataya ratshengatai. Nohi, nohi, o, shri. It's like about having fun. Like the elephant, if you're listening, it's like the elephant is spinning now, like woohoo! Just have fun with this energy. Run with it. Do your best to calm any nervous anxiety, and just know that the end of a difficult cycle is basically over. We can get moving on some new energy. All right, thank you, my loves. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Let's take another deep breath together. I will see you all again soon in the next episode. Have a beautiful week ahead. Take care. This episode has been brought to you by Rockaway Point's newest veterinary clinic, Posh Pets. Clark Witherspoon and his familiar poodles are here to help you with all your healing needs. Be it a toenail trim or a hairball tummy trouble healing session, we have everything you need at Posh Pets.